Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 12 of Money Talks. I'm JT here, the co-host. We are joined by the actual host, Asen Kirilov, who I'm slowly moving in on, and our newest and first victim. Some call him El Jefe, some call him Jeff, some call him the Hyena Lord and Master. But his name is Jeffery Weatherford. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. Appreciate you all for having me. It's been a long time coming. So yeah, I'm happy to be here, happy to tap in, happy to shed whatever light on any subject I possibly can on the show. So yeah, let's get it cranking.
Amazing to have you on, buddy. Amazing to have you on. So if you guys don't know anything about this particular show, we divulge in secrets and mysteries that we tend to expose. No, that was the X-Files, sorry. No, what we do is we provide you guys with content pretty much on every single episode that you may have heard so far. If not, regardless of where you're listening to us or watching us, we always tend to provide little tips, tricks, and helpful little things. But on today's episode, we're going to do something different. We're going to do something special just for you guys. So Jeffrey is here with us to shed a lot more light on other subjects that we haven't actually explored. However, we are going to keep it cash as we always do. But just to kind of kick the episode off, Jeffrey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, buddy, and how it is that you came to be the person that you are today?
Appreciate you, Austin. Appreciate you, JT. So it's been a journey. There's no short story about it. Being an entrepreneur is like birth through fire and flames in every point that you go to. It's really glamorized at this point. Being independent, making money outside of a 9-to-5 and non-traditionally. I haven't had a 9-to-5 since 2016, so going on 5 years now. I have been a children's book illustrator, a poet, spoken word performer, musician, music promoter, graphic designer, freelance, basically just gone through the whole gambit of entrepreneurship, like even connecting to gurus and furus, the whole 9 yards, getting into digital marketing, and that was going pretty well. That's actually a fantastic skill that I still use. That's great. Copywriting and content creation, everything that you guys talk about, that's fantastic for the world that we live in.
It sounds like you're a little virtuoso of old traits.
Oh, definitely. I've worn many hats. Not a lot of them fit anymore. I decided to grow my hair out. So we're mainly working on the Forex and the financial literacy right now, helping people gain that education and that skill to pretty much free yourself from the mundane and the normalcy of a 9-to-5. It's not an easy journey by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not going to sit up here and BS anybody. I've cried on the journey. I've lost tons of money learning how to trade. In fact, in June, my collective, Jed, who's a part of that, the Hyenas, pretty much our community lost about like $30,000 as a collective because of a cryptocurrency fiasco. And, we're at the point where, we understand that you have to risk money in order to gain money. And I don't know what I'd be doing right now without trading. I've made 5 figures this year trading, and I made 5 figures last year trading. So outside of my children's book illustration and everything else that I do. So it's definitely been a blessing, but it's also like a double-edged sword. It can cut you down really very fast if you allow it to. It's been a journey of stifling greed, staying disciplined, waking up early, just being beyond the level of focused and dedicated that I ever thought I could be. Honestly, like at the beginning of this journey, I thought, I started trading a year ago, and over a year ago, June 1st, 2020. I know the exact date because like the first week that I started trading, I made $250, like the first trade, and it blew my mind like out of proportion about how trading was for like 3 months. I didn't know anything about non-farm payroll, NFP. I actually started trading on NFP week on a Friday, and I thought every trade was going to be like $250 in like 4 seconds. And I was like skewed for a very long time. So any traders watching this, Trading in the Zone, definitely read that book. It'll help your psychology. I needed to read it early in my career, but instead I waited like 3 months, like after I had blown multiple accounts. So,
but
so I'm curious.
Sorry, go on, JT. You go first.
So you mentioned you haven't been working a normal 9-to-5 job for about 3, 4, 5 years since 2016. There's a lot of people out there that are in different situations. So I'll kind of cover the different situations. First off, there's one that are people currently working a 9-to-5 job and wish they had something else. There's people that lost their job because of the pandemic, and maybe they were lucky enough to get on unemployment. There are other people that lost their job and don't have anything. There's a lot of different groups of people out there. What is your perspective from being in your situation, to having not have to go to work, not have to clock in? Is it everything it's cracked up to be? What advice would you give to different types of people that are maybe interested in that kind of freedom lifestyle?
Absolutely. I'm definitely glad you asked that, because at the beginning of this pandemic, I was used to living on like the edge in a sense. A lot of people, they feel like a job or being employed is like a cushion, and then they got the rug pulled out like right from under them, and they didn't know what to do. And at that point, there was a lot of like affiliate marketing, a lot of MLM, a lot of financial literacy stuff, digital marketing. That entire industry started to boom because of necessity, right? And at the same token, like, it's not easy to break through in these industries, especially having zero know-how. Is extremely romanticized, especially Forex. Like, I was twisted when I first started trading Forex. I thought it was gonna be like money in seconds, and I was gonna get rich on every single trade that I made. And I knew nothing about funding. I was part of an MLM for about 4 or 5 months, moving forward in my Forex journey. And they didn't tell me anything about working to get a funded Forex account. They didn't tell me that there were prop firms available that would fund me, that I didn't have to keep burning my money, trading, trying to flip little accounts, and they would tell you, to recruit in order to fund your account. So not saying that recruiting isn't a bad skill to have, because I can recruit people now. They definitely drilled that into me, and Forex boot camp was more like a cult, really. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you made 1 cent, go out and tell the people the good news. So I learned how to recruit. I learned how to sell stuff. Before the entrepreneurial journey, I was with Billy Jean. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Big digital guru, some call him a furu, and I made pretty much, he was my first touch point in digital sales, where I had my first breakthrough, right? It was bananas. I spent like $5 in ads, and I made like $500. I was just like, all right, this is I'm it right now. I think it was 30 Days of Genius. I might have met you in that group, Jed.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think I met you through someone else, but that's originally, we were in the group together. We didn't know each other about each other when we were in that group.
Right. Yeah. So I was smashing it in the 30 Days of Genius. And then I ran into Forex, right? And I totally stopped focusing on digital ads, and the money that I was making from the marketing dried up. Cause when you're really have a not a small business, a local business, right? Because no business is small, right? Business is any business that you have is huge. Okay. Don't get it twisted. There's no such thing. It doesn't matter how few employees you have, your business is huge. All right. So I was a local business, and one bad week of your ads running, not converting, can really shoot you, kill you dead in the water. And so I was spending a bunch of money learning how to trade, more often than not blowing my money in the first early first early months of trading than not. And yeah, like ended up losing a lot of money. Like the first few months of trading, I was like, around September, I was like, wait a second now. Like looking at my accounts, I was like, I gotta chill out with the trading. Yeah, like came up breathing, and then started with the digital ads, and then that's when we started opening up membership for the Hyena Hut and started doing all types of more Forex and entrepreneur. We like mixed the two together, and so we just added the digital what was that? Digital content creation, digital ads, all the digital media stuff. Added that to the Forex, and yeah, we're still cranking with that. We got huge ad campaigns in the mix right now, and huge services. In fact, I'm not going to toot my own horn too much, but I honestly believe that the Hyena Hut is like literally the best community that you could possibly be a part of if you are in the trading community. Like legitimately, we have our own indicators, we have our own automated trading systems, we have our own trading strategies, have our own education platform. I don't know. It doesn't get much better than that, in my opinion. Yeah. So that's my TED
awesome. Okay, can I ask you a quick question though?
Absolutely. Anything.
Even though we just heard about all of the struggles that you've gone through, you know, and how difficult of a time it was for you to get to the point that you are in today, would you have done anything different?
I think I would have pulled some crypto out before the dip early in August. Definitely that. But other than that, nah, we're good. We're pretty good over here. Yeah. It's a great skill to have. Been extremely blessed. You know, really, I can't even, I'm just blessed to be where I am. I've been through a lot in my life. We all go through turmoil and trials and tribulations to get to where we are, you know. I could, definitely. That's my dog.
Hello, dog.
The little hyena.
That'll be next week's guest.
Hello. Oh, he's cute. Right, JT, have you got any questions
on the
about
podcast?
I was just thinking, Jeffrey covered some of his struggles getting where he is. Asen, what struggles have you been through getting where you're at?
Quite honestly, because I have had a business of my own in the past where I created everything from scratch and I knew zero about business. Okay, I had a company that I ran back in early 2010 is when I started it. Well, technically I started it late 2009, and I started creating everything from scratch, and I did everything wrong. Okay, when I say that, I got an office before the business even started. Okay. Oh yeah, this is like something
ambitious. I love it.
A lot of people don't know, dude. I was hungry. Okay, and I was not planning on giving up. Okay, music has always been in my blood, right? And I don't share this often enough, but I've always had the ambition to be involved in the music industry to some extent. Okay, I grew up surrounded by music. You know, to me, music drives everything, no matter what we do. Okay, there's a reason why I've got this on. Okay, it's not just to hear you guys. Okay, music in general, to me, like if I don't have music going, it's like I'm not myself. Okay, but the fact is that I started everything from zero, and I've done that enough in my time to learn a few tips and tricks along the way. Okay, even prior to that moment, but I started from scratch. You know, I found the office. I taught myself how to do website design, website creation, contract negotiation, contract creation. I did business association, everything. Okay, I started creating leads myself for the business. I didn't know how to create a Facebook page, didn't know how to open a Facebook group, nothing. Okay, nothing. Literally started from zero. Obviously, I had a Facebook account like same as everybody else, but I didn't know nothing. Right? I didn't know how to run ads. I didn't know how integrating the business into today's economy would be. Like, you know, all of these things I had zero clue, zero idea. But you know what? within the first year, the business went global, right? At that point, I had about 16, 17 contracts already agreed, 1-year contracts with artists from all over the world, under the pretense that we would release their music and we would be their distributor because it was a record label at the time. So a year after that, I had 32 artists from all over the world, okay? And all of this, I was pushing and grinding, and the near enough 24-hour-a-day job that I had with 2 phones next to my head, you know, knowing that one could be one side of the world, the other one could be on the other side of the world. And obviously, because of the different time zones, as you guys know, anything could happen at any point. So I was like always on the go, you know, and it was something that, although it was extremely difficult at the time, I still kept pushing because I knew what I wanted to achieve through this. Unfortunately, it came at a really bad time when the business was doing as well as it was, you know. I think it pretty much turned into like $250,000 business at that point. And I had to shut shop because my mum unfortunately fell ill at the time, and my business partner screwed me for about 50 grand. So due to all of those things happening simultaneously, and I had to kind of step away from the business itself, mainly to take care of my mom at the time. I had to pack up shop, you know. But the fact is that everything that I learned during those, even though to some people 2 years is a short period of time, to me it felt like a lifetime because of everything that I was going through. It was something that has taught me a very, very valuable lesson in life. And it's, regardless of whether you know what you're going into or not, as an entrepreneur, we always bite off more than we can chew, right? We always try and think about, okay, I'll do this, and whether it's something I can do or not, it doesn't really matter. I'll deal with that later, okay? I just need to get my feet wet first, okay? We have always done that in this particular industry. And I think that's what makes us better, stronger, quicker, faster, and more adapt to our environments. So regardless of what anybody's going through, okay, there's always going to be people out there that are going to be worse off, okay? And since then, I've had the opportunity to, and I should actually backtrack a little bit. Because of that, because of what happened, I was lucky enough to meet the love of my life and have 2 beautiful girls. And I would not wish to be anywhere else other than here. I wouldn't change anything about the struggles that I experienced during that period of time, because I'm a true believer that every single thing that happens to a person leads to a point in their life that they're supposed to be at, you know? Right. So although we all believe the time is money, you know, there are mistakes that we have made, but in reality, all of those mistakes have led us to somewhere where we have to be. Okay, whether it was a lesson that we had to learn or a difficulty that we had to overcome to be able to achieve something which is going to be beneficial to us, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever the reason, it was meant to happen. And I'm a true believer of that. What about you, JT?
Well, how much time do we have? Chapter 1.
Here we go.
So I think I mentioned it like on my first guest episode before I was co-host. You know, it started out, you know, it was bad when I was born, and then it just kind of went downhill from there. Man, my childhood was really messed up. I was raised in an environment where I was punished for wanting to help with house chores. I was punished for wanting to learn about money. I was punished for basically everything. And then when I grew up into my, you know, late teen years, I fell into kind of a bad organization, group of people that really messed me up in a lot of ways. And so by the time I was 24, 25, I had basically, you know, no marketable skills because no one ever taught me how to take care of myself for real. I was always dependent on someone else. And, you know, throughout that time where I was with this group of people, I was in a lot of like room and board situations. So I was technically working oftentimes 80, 100, 120 hours a week or more. Literally some nights I got like 2-3 hours of sleep, and that was a good night of sleep. And I wasn't making any income. So at a certain point, they had a major falling out with me, and they really went out of their way to destroy me. Like it's a miracle I'm still alive because everything that they put me through. So I ended up basically 25 years old, had nothing to my name, was basically homeless, bankrupt, traumatized, had nothing going for me. So I enrolled in school. I didn't know what to do, but I knew that in my current state, I couldn't do anything basically. And on top of that, I had a lot of like physical health problems. So like working was even difficult through a lot of that. So I was basically, school was my great reset in my life. It was like 4 or 5 years where I had a place to live. I had food. I had time to deal with, all the crap that I'd been through. And during school, I learned about Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and this whole idea of there's ways to make money without a job. And I'm like, well, this is great because I can't work a job. I need some other source of money. So for the last, several years, I've been doing everything I can, investing in myself, trying to learn, marketing, sales, trading, anything to, be an alternative source of income because I desperately needed it. And, it's funny because I had the foresight to see that, whereas a lot of other people, they were reliant on a job, and the pandemic hit and they ended up in the same situation I was in, but they didn't have several years of preparation for it. So in the end, it kind of ended up working out, when you're, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right? So when the whole world went to hell, at least I was, in a familiar environment. So it didn't really bother me or affect me too much. But, it has been a great struggle to get where I am. I'm not fully where I want to be, but I'm definitely further along than I probably would have been if not for the things that I went through.
So what's the take on this whole situation?
Don't be me. Just don't do it. Say no to Jeff.
What do you think, Jeff? What's the take on this?
I think you're a pretty amazing person, like Lowkey Jed. Not even Lowkey, you make me laugh. So I think anybody who makes me laugh is pretty cool, usually. You haven't done me bad.
I'll try to do it more often.
Yeah, you haven't done me bad, so you're pretty cool with me, baby.
We got another Austin Powers voice going on here.
No, but seriously, the things that we go through, we grow through. Like you said, you had a traumatizing childhood. I'm no different. I was raised in a great environment, but unfortunately, the environment that we are raised in doesn't necessarily mean you're protected or anything like that. Your parents can only protect you so much from the world, and when they're not around, things can happen. So I was messed up for a long time growing up. I really didn't care about anything for the majority of my younger life, until I was 23, probably 24. And then it was it came to a giant shitstorm essentially, and my life exploded and I was reborn.
That's the circle of strife.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just I'm really blessed to be here because I was a different person when I was younger.
Weren't we all though? Weren't we all different when we were younger? I mean,
I was a total nerd when I was younger. I don't know what you think about me, but I was 1,000 times worse.
But dude, nerds are cool now. That's the thing. Nerds are cool. We're all cool
reading
because
comics
we're
and
educated.
manga.
Yeah,
right.
Anime, all that stuff is in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at how much it goes for nowadays on the market. Holy crap.
Right.
A completely different industry now, as opposed to what it was 10, 15, 20 years ago,
Right. People selling those NFT, Microsoft Paint things for $30,000.
Right.
Exactly. But think about it, right? There is total sense behind NFTs. And I know this is a whole, other subject and everything like that, but NFTs, I personally believe, are the way forward because they represent something. It could be something from your childhood, the originality of that moment in time, is what's going to give value to the particular object, you know. And it doesn't even have to be an object, it could be something digital, you know. So it's going to be priceless. It may be priceless for you, but it's probably priceless for a lot of other people as well. So it's kind of difficult to judge, but you could literally make a drawing and stick it on and like, this is one of a kind, and it's like $5 million, and someone will buy it.
No, I mean, I love the concept of NFTs. I actually I grabbed the domain nftworldbank.com like when it was like, when I first heard about NFTs. I'm still holding it. We haven't really done much with it. We were initially using it for some cryptocurrency stuff, but we kind of have shelved that, and it's just sitting in crypto space. But you know, being an artist, the concept of having ownership and being like fans being able to kind of transfer your creative property in like a trading card type of way, and you to perpetually be able to make royalties off of each sale, each transaction, it's a beautiful thing to me. So you know, I don't think that it's going to be adopted by the mainstream, much like anything else in the crypto space, because it's really just like way over people's heads at this point. Like some of the things I don't even understand, and I've been in it for a long time, so I don't even blame people for be like, yo, I don't understand it. I'm like
nobody does.
That's the thing. It's ever changing, isn't it? It's constantly evolving, and it's so like
fast.
Today's so one thing, tomorrow is something completely different. But at the end of the day, it is going to be something that, I mean, look, nobody out there, I don't care who you are, nobody can refuse that this is truth. Okay, the fact that Gary Vee was able to launch his platform for NFTs on, I think it was the 5th of something, I think 50505, right? He launched it, and Ethereum skyrocketed within a week because it uses Ethereum to trade. You know, you can't tell me that little bit of something didn't make a huge impact on it.
It definitely did. These influencers, these niche lords that are popping up all over the internet, when they talk about these cryptocurrencies, they explode. Or when they do a project that's concerning them, it's to the moon, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And I don't know if you've been trading when Elon has made a tweet about any cryptocurrency, but
that dude needs to be tried for murder because he's slaughtered those markets.
Yes, absolutely. He literally, like, we were trading Bitcoin one night, and I think all he did was we were in sales on Bitcoin, and he said, just posted Bitcoin, and that was it. Bitcoin, we're like, what happened? through the roof, instantaneously.
It's so simple to do, and that's the thing. It's like the Spider-Man slogan: with great power comes great responsibility. And some people don't even know the huge volume of power that they have over the markets. Right. You know, it's something so simple. Whereas back in the day, do you remember like 20, 30 years ago? I mean, obviously I would have been 6 years old at the time, but the fact is how different everything was back then. How not as influential social media was. I mean, it basically didn't exist at that time.
Right.
But that type of network of people, everything was based on companies, who was getting indicted and stuff like that, and those type of things would actually affect a company's value, stocks and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's like all it takes is one person to say Bitcoin, and the market goes crazy, right? You know, so you got to think all these little things now are going to make such a huge difference in what is happening in our day-to-day lives. And people aren't even woke enough to understand that. Okay, they're sleeping until 12 o'clock in the morning when the other side of the coast has already been making decisions for the past 4 hours in regards to what happens in their life.
Right.
What the hell? You know, and this is what people don't get. It's things like these that really wind me up, because it's so simple, but not a lot of people understand that, other than people like us that are in the field.
Right.
It reminds me of I think it was like the 1600s or the 1700s, somewhere around there. there was what was called the I don't know what it was called. It involved tulips, like the Great Tulip Fiasco. I don't remember the exact title.
I think I know what you're talking about, where like the prices of the flower just skyrocketed.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
like people had multi-million-dollar mansions comparable today, like 20 bedrooms, bathrooms, party halls, social, like you like the Vanderbilt mansion or something like that, like serious mansions, and they were trading their entire estate, not just the building, but their entire estate, their servants, their livelihood for one flower, a freaking tulip. Like, it was crazy. It was
serious?
the great tulip bubble. And like, it sounds ridiculous. You go in the history books, it's there. People completely collectively lost their minds and and started, like, anyone who had a tulip became an overnight god. And it got so bad, like, one day the entire market just collapsed and the tulips were no longer worth anything. And so everyone, like, there was like this huge wealth transfer. And, some people were smart and they were on the right side of, like, this is a lot more important than a flower, but, a lot of people were not. So they lost quite a bit.
Wow.
Right.
Jesus Christ. That is mental. I gotta admit, I haven't heard about that before. I seem to remember something super vague about something like that, but I didn't know the actual story.
Look it up. Like, it's there. It's crazy.
Do that right
Absolutely crazy.
Oh my God.
We can give power to anything. If somebody deems something, all it just takes is that collective dissociation with reality, I guess, to deem a flower profitable. But whatever it takes.
Look at crypto. Crypto had zero power.
Right.
It had zero power when it started. Nobody even knew what the hell it was. And look at what it is today. It's literally one of the greatest commodities in our day and age.
Right. Massive.
That's an important point, because there's some people listening. We talked about having a job, not having a job, but everyone in their mind relies on either the US dollar or their own country's currency, or some combination of the two. And what they have to realize is, I'm not going to say that the dollar is going to fall so I don't get labeled a conspiracy theorist. I'm just going to say, if the dollar falls, you have to realize that the only thing making the dollar or any currency valuable is a group of people saying this has value. The second that changes, it will be absolutely worthless. And you better have a backup plan. Whatever it is, skills, assets, whatever, you have to have a backup plan, or you are screwed and out of the game already.
Give this guy a hand, because that is absolutely true.
Mic drop.
Yeah, absolutely. And nobody realizes this, because in reality, somebody thinks of $100. $100 is nothing. Okay,
It's
mainly
nothing.
because
You can't eat it.
it's a piece of paper. It doesn't have actual value. Okay, it's the value that people give it that creates the value. It's kind of like a service. Okay, if you're performing a service, you're valuing that service as opposed to how much it costs to you and how valuable it is to you. So if someone comes and does an MOT on your car, they're going to charge you a different price as what the next guy will, because their time is what they actually value. Their skill set, of course, as well, but it's their time. Okay, and then that's the one thing that is the biggest thing that people I think are lacking understanding of, because time is something nobody will ever get back. Forget the service for a moment, forget the product. Okay, it's your time. Okay, it's the one thing that's constant, that is always ticking, but you will never get back. So you can do whatever you want to do. You want to invest in crypto, invest in crypto. You want to go and buy a house. Nobody's going to stop you from doing that. Obviously, you need to have the financial backing for it, but regardless of which, it's your time that you will never get back. Everybody's trying to, create their footprint in their lifetime and do all of these things, but think about it. What's the one thing that everyone always wants more of and can never get? Now, I reckon if someone found a way to actually do that and, give people a year or two here and there, that would be a business to be into.
Yeah, just take the batteries out, you'll stop time.
True.
So I think we're coming towards the end of our time. Jeff, do you have any final things you want to say? It's been a definite pleasure having you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you all are doing right here is necessary for the community that you're working to reach, because like I said, I can say this an infinite amount of times, the entrepreneurial life, any non-traditional life is hyper glamorized in social media. They literally just make it seem like rainbows and teddy bears and nothing about the shadows and spiders and bats and bears and wolves and all the horrible treachery that is out there. So, you know, if you're on this journey, the one piece of advice I can tell you is to just do your, I know it's gonna be ultimately cliche, but do your best to stay positive and understand that you wake up every single day with a chance and a choice. All right. And all you can do is run with that chance and that choice to continue. Okay. So I appreciate the time. Keep doing what y'all are doing. I'm gonna tap in whenever I can and help to add value whenever I can.
Awesome, dude. We would love to have you on
that's what happened to me. I started out as a guest and now I'm a co-host, you know. we move fast over here.
That sounds pretty
We don't
awesome.
waste no time, baby. We don't waste no time.
Ain't got time to waste.
Jeff, it's been amazing having you on the show, buddy. Thank you very much for
sharing
those little nuggets with us and sharing your time with us. Hopefully you guys have got some amazing insights from all of the conversations that we've just had, and I hope you're all staying safe out there. Feel free to check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, all of the major platforms. We're all on there. Also, feel free to get in touch with Jeff on Facebook as well. If you guys have any questions, shoot us a message across. We'll be happy to reply and help you guys out however we can. For myself, Asen Kirilov, Jedediah Thomas, and Senor Jeffrey, thank you very much for being with us today, buddy. Have a great day, everyone, and we will speak to you guys soon. Bye-bye.